What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh wait. I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we built Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
Welcome. X is fucking broken. Okay, X is fucking broken. I don't know what is happening on X. Honestly. Really disappointed with X. X is garbage right now. Disappointed with X. Welcome to everybody who can tune in. I always want to say something. But anyway, fuck it. It's Friday. It's episode 666 on Friday the 13th. It's 12:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hello, Landy. Hello, everybody in the TikTok chat. Hello, Cash Out. I was about to say something about Cash Out, but I don't want her to unfollow me. He or she could unfollow me, so I don't want that to happen. But welcome to the breakdown, sponsored by yeah, it's weird. 666 episode 666 on Friday the 13th. I'm going to play the lottery today. That's what I'm doing. That's right. Playing the lottery today. I'm trying to fix the lights. I'm getting close to my skin color, my natural skin color. I'm not powder white, okay? I'm trying out here in these streets, okay? I'm desperately trying to 100% show you my complexion. Anyway, welcome. Appreciate it that you guys tuned in and stopped by. Again, Midnight is the sponsor. Shout out to Charles. Charles is out there, like I said yesterday, wearing his McDonald's suit. Shut up, Landy. Now, I will not look at the comments no more on the Twitter section, because Twitter is full with a bunch of haters, hating ass son of a bitches. Anyway. Also, shout out to the new sponsors. We got Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet. You talk about privacy. I just said Midnight and then I said Cake Wallet. You want to talk about privacy and leading in with privacy. There you go. Shout out to also the official partner of all prediction markets for the DG brand, that is Polymarket. There you go. I didn't say Polygon, I said Polymarket. I want to say that I had a fabulous workout today. I'm a workout again. I'll work out again today after I go to the convenience store and get myself a lottery ticket. That's right. I'm gonna get because it's episode 666, and then you have today's Friday the 13th. Apparently, we have 2 Friday the 13th in this calendar year. Am I correct? Am I correct with that? Am I correct? Am I correct? By the way, if you're on X, you might not, or excuse me, if you're on Twitter, you might not be able to see me because I don't know. There's a problem with the broadcast and the live streams popping up. I have to manually push it out there. Just crazy work. Why is the camera face me this way? Should I put the camera this way? I'm still trying to figure out how to put all this. We have a guest coming on today, Finance Friedman coming on today. Look at that. Fucked up there. Sorry, Friedman. My bad. He'll come on today. We'll talk about the markets. Now, we might have a special guest, so stay tuned. Still waiting on that. Next week, make sure you tuned in. I think we have institutional week next week. Really, I really think we have institutional week next week. The guests that are coming on, everybody is an institutional player. So that'll be fun, right? I'm sure they've watched my shows and they'll probably ask me, "Hey Dave, what's going on? Why are you so vicious towards us, man? Why are you so vicious towards us?" By the way, I didn't get to put on again my Brickle peptide. You know I always do this. But I can get away with this, right? Forgot to put that on, man. Just noticed the bottle sitting here, and I take care of myself, man. I take care of myself. I always take care of myself. Anyway, good news, right? Today's CPI numbers came in lower. Yo, the TikTok chat is crazy. CPI numbers came in bullish, lower than expectations. All right, so that's bullish. Let's give it a round of applause to the Trump administration. They continue to go ahead and absolutely do their thing out here. Okay, I know everybody wants to think everything's negative out here in these streets, but it's not. It's not. Crypto looks like it's sort of bouncing. Are we about to go into this next leg in the market? Are we about to go to Valhalla? Are we close approaching? Are we firing up the engines? Are we? I don't know. I haven't even looked at the markets. By the way, next week, Landy, that's kind of funny that you said that. Next week, I should have the show sponsored by BlackRock. With the guests that are coming on, next week's show will be sponsored by BlackRock and Fidelity and Vanguard. That's right. Fran, who is an amazing moderator along with Tech, please don't say super cycle. I won't. I don't know what this is, to be honest with you. I don't know, and nobody knows what this really is. I mean, if you sit back and you think about it, who the fuck knows what this is? I don't know what to name it. I don't know what to name this shit. I don't know what to name this thing. I really don't know what to name this thing. It's super for Bitcoiners. I mean, it definitely is super for Bitcoiners. Definitely. By the way, the executive director of the Ethereum Foundation, he stepped down today. He resigned. He will be stepping down in February. And the current assistant, I guess, ED is going to take its place. Vitalik went ahead and posted about it. Was I wrong when I was talking about Ethereum 2 days ago? Did I get it wrong? I don't know if I'm telling you, man, you guys need to be fucking tuning into me. Who are you listening to? Have we not had this conversation? Who are you listening to? I'm calling it before it's happening. I'm the reincarnation of Miss Cleo. Did I not say the shit's all fucked up? Ethereum will do great. Ethereum has a lot of money on it. Ethereum has a hell of a lot of money on it, okay? I am telling you, though, as much as I love Ethereum and I consider myself an ETH maxi, the ball has been dropped, ladies and gentlemen. The ball has been dropped. Okay? Oh, shit! I'm not Miss Cleo! I'm Nostradamus, motherfuckers. But, yeah, I mean, I gotta turn off comments. That's what I can't look at the comments. I can't observe the comments. I don't know. I don't have ADD or anything, but I can't look at these comments, man. You got people trying to get me in bed and stuff. It's weird. Anyway, welcome to the Breakdown, episode 666 on Friday the 13th at 12:24 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You are joining me. That's right. You are joining me, DG, on the 1 and 2s. Yeah, listen. I was right. That's all I got to say. And I am right for acquiring more Solana. That's right. I have been going into Bitcoin and I've been going into Solana. I have Ethereum. You know, I have Ethereum. You motherfuckers know I have Ethereum. But I am now getting more and more Solana because I believe Solana is going to probably run up to $1,000. I said it. I said it out loud. I said it. Cash Out, what you laughing at, Cash Out? I will kidnap your parakeet. Fuck around, I will do that. Anyway, I was going to say something intelligent. I was going to say something very intelligent. Oh, that's what I want to say. That's what I wanted to say. Landy's a hater, by the way. Okay, I gotta close out the comment. I can't. You know what? I'm blocking Landy. It's all Landy's fault. Landy's sitting in the chat that TikTok can't see because Restream, can you fucking fix your networks so I can have everybody fighting with each other? I need everybody fighting with each other in my comment section. Okay? I need to be able to see people fighting with each other in my comments. I want this to happen. Okay? I need you to whatever API, plug it into this motherfucking show to where we can have all social media platforms fighting with each other. That's right. I want them all fighting. I am also going to come out with my personal, so I'm going to come out with a wallet and I'm going to fund my own wallet. That's right, with my own money. And I'm going to buy the dopest memes out there. And I want to make it like the meme fund. That's right. I'm going to make a meme fund. Okay. I don't know if, and I'm not, it's not a real fund, but it's like, it's just like, I'm just calling it a fund. It's not a real fund though. Nobody's funding it except me. Okay. And I'm going to just put it into my own fund. Okay, I'm creating my own fund. And I'm gonna put memes in it. Loudest communities get in. That's right. Loudest communities get in. Dopest memes get in. And then I should have like an altcoin digital strategic fund, the DG strategic altcoin digital asset fund. That's right. You know what it is? Benjamin, Benjamin, you're gonna have to listen. You were supposed to come on my show twice. You are one of the 4 out of 10 years that never showed up. You got to come on here and we got to go ahead and talk about this. Where you're blaming the meme economy for everything that's wrong with the crypto ecosystem. Like we got to go ahead and have this conversation. And let me put you on game. Okay, I'm going to have to put you on game for you to understand why the markets are down, and it has nothing to do with the meme economy. It has nothing to do with pump fund. That's an easy way out of this situation, to go ahead and blame a little section of this crypto industry. Okay, it's not the meme's fault. It's not the meme's fault. Okay? It's not. It's not. It's not. Everything's a fucking meme. Everything's a meme. Everything's a meme. Like, how would Cash Out live without Apu? How would Cash Out would not be able to live without Apu in her life? I know my audience very well. I study my audience very well. So if my audience were to pop off at me in the comments and I shall see it, I shall clap back. I shall clap back. Man, if you are not getting memed, somebody said somebody made a meme of me. If you are not getting memed, then you're not doing it right, okay? If you are not getting memed out here in these streets, out in these social media platforms, then you are not doing it right. I actually love it. I want that is an honor. Do you know what kind of honor it is to get memed? You know what kind of honor it is that somebody is taking out time out of their day, their precious time, to meme you? It's a beautiful thing. What is my plan for Okay, hold on. I'll answer all these questions, but I didn't even finish the monologue. It's 12:31 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Look, I think right now, again, I still believe Q1 2026. I still believe 2026 in general is going to be a phenomenal year for crypto. That I 100% believe. 100% believe that to be the case. Will be true. You shall see. Okay, you shall see it pop off. Okay, it will pop off. It will. 100%. I said by the end of this month leading into March 1st, we shall see some movement. But I will say this. I have no problem with the choppiness. I have absolutely no problem with it. I honestly never thought that I would have an opportunity to buy Bitcoin at these prices again. I really didn't think I would have the opportunity to do so. I thought that if we were to have any sort of pullback, we'd probably hit into, at most, the 78, 80 range. I never thought we'd go here. I never thought we'd really go here. I also thought that we were going to go way above 127. But 10/10 ruined things. October 10, 2025 ruined everything. And now more people are starting to speak out about it. It's funny, when look, y'all been watching me for 10 years. I said that day 10/10 didn't smell right. 10/10 was, I don't care what anybody says, 10/10 was absolutely a day of manipulation, man. And I had people telling me, no, it's not. No. That shit scared the fuck out of a lot of veterans. Now I'm watching the timeline. I'm watching people who I believe have a high IQ. They're going out there and they're saying, "Hey, man, some shady shit went on by these shady people." I won't name the names. Not yet. You know why? Because I want to take the opportunity to gather information before I go ahead and say anything, because that's the fair way to do things, right? Not to just say, "Oh, this is," without any factual information. Without any facts, coming on to a show where a ton of people come on, or a ton of people tune in to watch, would be absolutely unfair. Especially as one of the veterans here, I don't want to go ahead and FUD our own industry without facts. But I personally believe, in my humble opinion, that a lot of fuckery took place on 1010. A lot of mistakes were made. And that's why you see what's happening out in these streets. You even see, you know what's funny? I watch some of these mainstream media networks, not because I want to, it's because I have to, because it's my job to tune in, to listen to some of these people go ahead and speak. And even I know when somebody's lying. I can see it in their fucking eyes when they're lying, and their body language. A lot of these people that are coming on to mainstream media networks, a lot of people that came onto this show, they're confused. And they do believe that 1010 really hurt this industry. I believe that 1010 did hurt the industry. I believe it did. Yes, you can say there were no blow-ups, there were no, nobody announced they were insolvent and all that. 1010 hurt. 1010 hurt the industry. Bottom line, 1010 hurt. A lot of people, I'm going to say this right now. There have been people that I've spoken to that have been in crypto that have pivoted to AI. And I'm not saying, listen, if you're in crypto, you should kind of learn AI. And I think AI is going to be a great industry too. And I think AI is a great assistant. And I don't think it should replace your personality. I've already stated that multiple times. I think AI is great. I think the AI that we have out here is just an upgraded version of Clippy that you would find on Microsoft Word. At the end of the day, there have been people that said, you know what, I am done with crypto. Especially with the sharks here. I'm done with crypto. I'm pivoting to AI. A lot of people also stated that when we were running up, I already said this multiple times, I wasn't excited when Bitcoin was going up. It's nice to see number go up, but I wasn't excited. I'm being serious. It wasn't the same excitement that I had in 2021. It wasn't the same excitement that I had in 17. It wasn't the same. We could go back to cycle to cycle. There wasn't that excitement. There wasn't that excitement. As a Bitcoiner, I'm telling you, there was no excitement for me. You got a bunch of people that swapped their Bitcoin and went into altcoins and memes, and they're still waiting. And unbeknownst to everybody, I mean, altcoins have still been in a bear market since 2022. That's where they've been, in a bear market. And nobody's yet to come out and acknowledge it. Hey, guys, this shit is not moving because it's literally still stuck in a bear market. How are we going to have a cycle where Bitcoin moves and the alts don't? Bottom line, let's break it down. Retail never came because retail's broke. And if you don't believe me about retail being broke, go to the New York Fed site, okay? and you will see new data that came out where consumer credit card debt is at $1.28 trillion. Who the fuck is thinking about crypto? They're thinking about rent that they're backed up for 3 to 6 months on. They're thinking about bills. They're thinking about a lot of things besides the markets. And that is not just crypto. Now, somebody's going to say, hold on, David. The traditional markets are doing well. Yes, I'm happy that a lot of the things that I'm in the traditional markets are doing well. But most of the shit that's doing well, people who are investing into it, big money's in. People who understand finance, which has been passed down from generation to generation. And then it's more marketable because these Fortune 500 companies know how to market their brands. So when somebody wants to, let's say, invest into it, they know what Tesla is. They know what Citibank is. They know, I'll name everything out. They know what these things are. If you ask the normie what anything about crypto and you exclude Bitcoin, they know nothing else. Why would they take their money and go here if they have money? And they don't understand what the fuck's happening here. Welcome to the breakdown. Episode 666 on Friday the 13th. I gotta go play the lottery. This is crazy. It is 12:39 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. At 12:45 p.m., we'll be joined by Finance Friedman, and we'll go ahead and have that conversation about the markets. He has his show at around 1:15 p.m. It's Eastern Time here, Central Time where he does it. We'll go ahead and again, we'll chop it up. This show is sponsored by Midnight. That's right. Shout out to Midnight. Also, shout out to my 2 latest and new additions to the DG brand, and that is Cake Wallet. Shout out to one of the most fantastic wallets led by one of the most fantastic teams out there. Shout out to Vic and the entire team. Check out Cake Wallet. Go to cakewallet.com. Also, Polymarket is the official prediction market for the DG brand. So there we go. And we'll be back with Friedman and myself after this commercial break.
What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh, wait. I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we built Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve, together.
All right, I'm back. Welcome to the breakdown, episode 666. Damn, 666. That's crazy. That is wild. I should have skipped this episode. Anyway, crazy. Shout out to the TikTok. You going crazy over there? Relax yourselves. Anyway, let's bring on. Let me go ahead and set this up. Let's bring on Finance Friedman, man. Finance Friedman. I'm gonna ask him about his name. syllables. What's going on?
Yeah,
How's
what's
everything,
up?
man?
What's up, man? Thank you for having me. Friday the 13th, 666. But I'll tell you, your lighting is dialed in. So don't worry about the lighting anymore. You look solid. But congratulations
Man,
on everything.
we sort of figured it out, man. Sort of. Almost there, man. Almost. I have OCD, so I'm like almost there. It's almost there. I don't look like powder today, but I appreciate you coming on. Um, I mean, first question: how's the market looking for you?
Man, market is what I kind of expected everything to happen. I'm very technical whenever I'm looking at things, more based off of than just raw speculation, and kind of looking at the macro. It really doesn't surprise me. When we look at crypto, Bitcoin, whatever, it's the most risk on of risk on assets, right? And we're at a time where the peak tightness in liquidity has already passed, right? A few months ago, the Fed stopped quantitative tightening. It doesn't mean they started quantitative easing yet, but we know that we're at peak tightness in liquidity, right? And so we see that the most in risk on assets. That's my theory behind everything. And then we also have the Dow Jones. I'm looking at it a little bit under 50K. Sounds like a huge psychological level. And so I'm bullish on crypto long term. So any short term dips or even the more FUD that we hear, the better that is for me. And, just my personal opinion of it. And so I think that now's the time to find real projects because we kind of have a lot of fluff in the markets, if we're being honest, right? We have probably 99% of projects probably aren't needed, right? But there is sectors like emerging layer ones, artificial intelligence that I think is one of the most asymmetrical trades that we could possibly have. But I think this is the time where the people that left, they will be back buying our bags, buying the top, and then they're probably called crypto scam because they bought the top and then it had the next dip and everything. But now's the time that I like the most because that's where I can do research. And if you look at alts across the board, a lot of charts look like do or die moments. They're down to pre any pump. Like you said earlier in the show, we've really had no altcoin season, right? Couple narratives have ran here and there, but broad market wise, we hadn't had it. And so I do expect a handful of alts to go to zero, and they probably should. But I also think there's a lot of gems out there that people are going to be looking back in 2 years saying, why the hell didn't I buy that? I switched over trying to become AI guru and leaving crypto, and then look what happened. But I think AI comes on chain. I think that's the next big thing.
So we'll touch on that. I want to ask you this question: why do you think that crypto didn't run with the rest of the markets?
Yeah, so we had an early speculation run ever since Trump was announced, right? And that's how we ran up to 126. But I just think it all has to do with liquidity tightening. And then when gold was that was really the big hang up, right? It's because we've said for a long time, digital gold, BTC, digital gold. Well, if the market had seen it like that, then obviously it would have ran up with gold, and it didn't. And gold sucked a lot of liquidity out of basically everything. That's you're talking about trillions and trillions being added, within hourly candles of, on gold in some instances. And so it all goes back to liquidity in my personal opinion. Markets are forward looking, and I think that we've reached peak liquidity tightening. And the first thing to roll is going to be Bitcoin and going to be the most risk on of risk on assets. And so I think it's just all a timing thing. I think we're due for a little dip correction in the stock market, but it's all good buying opportunities. Like you, I'm betting on America, so I'll be buying, the best USA companies, the best cryptos. And so I just think it all ties back to macro liquidity, and we can't be so focused in on looking just at Bitcoin or looking just at Ethereum when the global liquidity is a much broader issue or topic.
The conversation always surrounds Bitcoin as being digital gold and store of value. So why would people rush over to gold instead of getting themselves Bitcoin?
Yeah, well, obviously, I think the market does not see it as digital gold. at this time. The market does not see it as a store of value. And when I say the market, I'm not talking about crypto market, right? I obviously do. I would have been better to pivot to gold. I didn't fully pivot to gold. I did trade metals and enjoyed short and silver at the top, but the broad market hasn't seen that, right? But we're a very young industry. I've been in crypto since around 2017. Even that is not a lot of time when you look at fiscal markets or financial markets, and so you have to have a track record of time. And we're just, what, a year post the first ETF, the first sovereign nations, or, like Trump's talked about the Bitcoin strategic reserve, El Salvador's doing their thing. But I really think we're just at the very beginning of this adoption, where if you scroll CT, people think we're at like the end of a industry, when I personally think it's the complete opposite. We're at the very beginning of an emerging industry. And Bitcoin, I do believe, will be viewed as a store of value one day, even though it wasn't just recently. But we got a lot of big things coming to this industry with tokenization, real world assets, and artificial intelligence, and memes. I'm big on memes. So,
Do you think that derivatives have hurt, paper products have hurt Bitcoin?
Yes and no. Yes and no, right? I mean, derivatives are a powerful tool, So whether you're talking about options on the stock market, because now there's the thing that, okay, 21 million BTC, right? Finite supply. That's the big thing, right? Everyone wants a fixed asset. But now you pretty much have a 5-to-1, 6-to-1 claim on that same BTC. But I think it hurts when the market's moving against you, but it helps when the market's moving your direction, right? So
Yeah.
so I don't think we can have our cake and eat it too. If we wanted Wall Street here, if we want derivatives, then that's part of what comes to it. But it's 100% true that Bitcoin and a large amount of altcoins have became a primarily derivative market. Very few of these transactions are happening on chain. I was breaking down, fees per BTC block recently. And, so it's definitely a heavily derivative market. Can that be good? Yes. Can it be bad? Yes. But at the same time, I think that a trader needs to be diversified. And if you're only wanting to make money when the market goes up, then you're missing out on half the game. And so I think derivatives, perps, I think it's a very powerful tool, but it's a tool that, has to be used right, just like a gun, right? A gun's a tool. You've got people wanting to ban them all over the world, but at the end of the day, it's just a tool, right? Same with perps, same with derivatives. It just depends on how somebody utilizes them.
Ethereum. So we have silver going crazy, and some people look at Ethereum as silver. What's up with Ethereum? Why hasn't Ethereum, gone and hit 10, at least over 8K? A lot of people expected Ethereum to hit 8,000, 10,000. I expected it to hit in those areas, and it hasn't. Why?
Okay, so one, fractured liquidity is one of the largest things that I believe has negatively affected overall Ethereum. Base didn't come out with their own token, but they have Base Ethereum, which is essentially just wrapped Ethereum, right, on Base chain. But you have Optimism, Arbitrum. You could just go down this very, very long list of fractionalized liquidity. But there's no doubt about it that, the people that's been calling for 10K, 15K, 20K, obviously not financial advice, but I think in this next run up that we got, Ethereum is going to be one of the best performing assets because it's all in the data.
But let me stop you there. Why would it be that? I want to stop you there real quick, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but I want to ask you how is it going to do that in those numbers? Like, I have to think about that also. How's it going to do all those numbers if you have all these L2s and L1s out here milking Ethereum's liquidity? Like, that is really what people, we know Tom Lee's buying. We know a lot of people are building on Ethereum. We know all this stuff is happening. But when you sit back and you start analyzing and you're opening your eyes and you're taking off the blinders, I mean, how does Vitalik fix this?
Yeah, and I bet Tom Lee, he sleeps like shit Bob blasting at $4,000, man. I bet I seen him and Sailor in the MSTR thing the other day. They both looked like they were halfway dead, poor guys. But Vitalik posted something recently, which I was tweeting at him, shut up, like the market was tanking. But he was basically saying that L2s in the traditional sense are no longer needed. Like L2s had came about for purely scaling, right? So we weren't paying $500, $1,000, fees. So Ethereum has made updates and are continuing to make updates to allow it to be more scalable and lower the fees. Okay. And when I look at what Ethereum is, I love Ethereum. I have a lot more Ethereum than Solana. I've always just pivoted more to Ethereum. I'm a 0x head, right? I'm kind of an ETH maxi, and I've been big in the base ecosystem. But I think whenever I look at, like Ethereum and Solana, I think Wall Street for Ethereum and I think retail for Solana. And so I think that what Vitalik recently said about L2s are no longer needed in just the sharded mechanism that they were before. Like you need to specialize in something. Like maybe you could be the AI chain, right? Like maybe Base could do that and they could forget about trying to tokenize every tweet that nobody cares about. But, and focus on artificial intelligence, right? But I think Wall Street is going to be on mainnet Ethereum. And so I think more of the scaling solutions, the base and all of that, that's more for builders who are not the Wall Street kind of thing, not the tokenized stock. So I think all that's going to happen on Ethereum, and the data shows it. I mean, if you look at DeFi Llama and look at total value locked, Ethereum, its own, is 56% of all TVL and DeFi. And then you've got like 3 or 4% Base, Optimism, Arbitrum, each got a couple percent. And Solana's 8%, right? So the difference between Ethereum and Solana, 8% and 56%. So right there tells you where all the big liquidity is. And so I think this bridge that we have coming of tokenized stocks, which we're already starting to see be rolled out, along with all types of real world assets, housing, whether that's medical records. I'm someone that believes my great grandkid or my grandkid, his birth certificate will be like an NFT on chain, right? Not the monkey JPEGs, not the Bored Apes that everybody loves, but you know what I mean. Like it'll be on chain. Yeah. And so I think that's all on mainnet Ethereum, and I think Vitalik and the ETH Foundation, even though people give him a hard time and he's over there selling ETH when the market's crashing to go fund some, I don't know, transgender hippo thing overseas or whatever he's working on, right? But what they're doing is making the L1 more scalable. And so I think ETH wins.
Solana has been taking a lot of mind share away from Ethereum. Vitalik is yet to embrace memes. I know a lot. I replied to one of Benjamin Cohen. I think that's his name. Cohen. His name? Cohen.
Yeah, Benjamin Cohen. Yeah.
One of his posts, I replied to his post and I said, because he said that memes destroyed the industry, and you can't blame a section. What do we go to? $4.2 trillion at our peak here. The total market cap for memes was 220 billion. That is not even close to touching or affecting the entire ecosystem. Memes, to me, you have a younger generation that understands memes. It doesn't even have to be tokenized. If you go on TikTok, you go on Instagram, people in comments are using memes to essentially reply to comments. So it doesn't have to be, I'm gonna say this, it doesn't have to be tokenized. It doesn't have to have a price to it. Memes are relatable. And to me, life is a meme. Vitalik, to me, and Ethereum had control of the meme economy. They absolutely 100% had control of it. I feel like now that's going to Solana. I feel like Solana is embracing it, okay? Doing everything possible to embrace it. How does Ethereum, or does Ethereum even want to go ahead and keep that core, that community of memers on its chain?
I don't think it's on his top list of things. I really don't. Back in the day, people would send Vitalik. There'd be a meme launched, and he'd send them. People would send him 1.5%, and some people would say he full clipped it. And would just sell it. I don't know how deeply true that is, but he's definitely never embraced it. Like he had the perfect opportunity with Pepe, right? I think he's focused more on. I mean, these are tech guys, right? A
So
lot of
why
them
is he
are.
why is he wearing a milady?
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
he's wearing a milady, but he won't embrace the memes. That's very confusing.
right. And it is confusing, and especially when you look at it. Like I understand maybe not supporting the pump fun equivalent, like the trench things, but when you
Yeah.
have real communities built out, like Pepe and others like that, even Turbo. That's where I got my start. Turbo Toad on
Shiba
Ethereum.
Inu, he
Yeah,
took
right.
50, they sent him 50% and he took 50% and he sent it off to India for the COVID fund.
Right, right. And so I think it's been a big mistake. I really do. You know, ETH fees were high for retail, but it's everything's relative to your bag, right? Like if you're
Yeah.
trading $100, then yeah, you can't afford $100 gas fee. But if you're trading with $10,000, you could afford $100 gas fee. Like I always was a big fan of Ethereum and still am, and so I think it's a big miss for him. But you bring up a good point. There's definitely some contradictions there on what he supports, what he doesn't support, like with his NFT and everything. But I definitely think was a big miss. At the same time, you mentioned, how small the meme, even at the top, how small it was relative to everything. And I just think their main focus isn't so much retail, it's more these institutional pay rails. And so I kind of think that's where their focus is right now.
We got, I know, another minute or two with you because you got start your show. What's your show, by the way? What's the name of your show and what time does it air?
Yeah, yes, sir. So it's typically at this time, and I'll start it a little late, but typically it's 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, so it's a live stream. So my name's Michael. I go by Finance Freeman. I know that was a tongue twister earlier. It used to be Freeman Finance, but when my lawyer told me I needed a website with terms and conditions, somebody bought freemanfinance.com and had it for sale for like 25 grand. So I was like, okay, I'll just swap these around. And that was like 25 bucks. And so I have I have a YouTube channel where I have daily videos, Monday through Friday, educational videos, deep dive on different, cryptos. And then we have a live stream every day that is then clipped up and pushed around. But Finance Freeman at all the different platforms, mainly X and YouTube.
Before you go, what do you see happening in 2026? Are we getting out of a bear market? Because that's what I believe. I believe this entire, I hate calling it a cycle, but I feel like this entire situation that we've been in is absolutely different than the previous cycles that we've experienced here. What do you believe happens in 2026? Do you think we start moving up in the end of quarter one? Do you think we start, moving really hard in quarter two or maybe quarter three? Like, where do you see us going? Or is 2026 to you the year where like crypto absolutely does nothing and we go lower in terms of numbers on assets?
Yeah. So what my take is kind of a broad 4-year cycle take, which I don't believe in the 4-year cycle as some, Bitcoin God, doing it.
Yeah.
I just follow liquidity, like I've talked about multiple times in this. And so when I look, we're at peak tightness of liquidity now. We know that we have a Fed chair coming in mid-May that Trump's appointing. Trump's not going to appoint somebody in Wash that's gonna, raise interest rates or make it tighter. So we're gonna have a lot of liquidity start flowing into the ecosystem or the, fiscal everything in mid-May. So give that 3 or 4 months to work through the system. That would correlate with a traditional BTC bear market of about a year. So September or October bottom. But one thing I think people might make a mistake on is that BTC bottoms in October, they may miss a bottom on alts. If you go last cycle, Ethereum bottomed in May or June, whereas BTC bottomed later. And I'm looking very closely. Like I already started buying yesterday Tau, the Tensor Tau, because I think decentralized AI is the thing that we're going to see. We're going to have a oh shit moment in artificial intelligence using one of these, and people are going to say, "Hey, we need decentralized artificial intelligence." So that's kind of my number one narrative. But when you look at alts across the board, they're beat down so much. Like literally, you can't go much lower if you're going to survive. And I don't believe all alts are going to zero. So I'm looking for a bottom on alts summerish, and then BTC September, October. And that correlates a lot with historical cycles, just off base and timing. That's something like Benjamin Cohen would say, as well with the liquidity that we have coming with the Federal Reserve in the United States. And we're already seeing quantitative easing basically in every other country around the world, except for Japan. They're raising interest rates, but then they're also printing money. So kind of a contradiction there. But anyways, I think, I think the next 4 to 5 months is the best time in crypto. And the reason I say that is because the money is not made when you sell. The money is made when you buy. And if you bought Zcash at $18, you did great. If you bought it at $300, well, you still did good, but you missed out on, it already being mainstream and interest already being there. And so I believe these next 3 or 4 months could be a little choppy, could see some more downside. There's a trend line on BTC going from 1600 up until now. That's at around 58K if we were to drop now. And that also correlates with about the average cost to mine a Bitcoin and the 200-week simple moving average. And it's a clean sweep of last cycle's all-time high. So like get some of that deep liquidity that's a few grand under there. So that's kind of what I'm looking for, David.
So you think, before you go, you think Bitcoin goes lower?
I think we sweep. Yes, I think you hear a lot about these liquidity sweeps, right?
Yeah.
And I had an order on. People are gonna make fun of me. I had an order on Robinhood just because I have a lot of. That's where all my stock investing is in there.
Yeah.
But I had a large order for BTC at 58.1, which is the 200-week moving average and that trend line that I'm talking about. And it didn't hit it. I got front ran, right? We hit 60K and then went up to 72. But I think we do sweep those lows again. I don't know if it happens right now. Obviously, nobody knows, but we could, run up to 75, 80-ish, make a lower high, and then eventually sweep those lows. So I do not think the low is in for this cycle, but I also think we're closer to the low than we're not. Like, I don't think we're going to like 20 grand or anything like that. Like, that's diabolical. I posted yesterday, if Bitcoin hits 10 grand, I'm selling both of my wife's kidneys. Not even just one of them. I'm selling both of them and I'm buying all of it. So yeah, but so I think we sweep a little bit, but like I said, nobody likes a bear, right? But you just have to put yourself in the mindset that this is the prime opportunity to acquire good assets. Just do research on what those assets are and watch the breakdown every day, and you'll be all right.
I appreciate that. And go tune into yourself. You guys, you can tune into Michael Freeman as he hosts his show, 1 p.m. Well, Eastern Standard Time, 12 his time, and that's Central Time. I've seen some of your clips. You're doing a good job.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you going out there and putting value out there, because that's all you can ask for. Is we need more value in this space. We need more shows that deliver value, because we are the new voice of finance, and that's what I wholeheartedly believe. It was nice to have you on. Hopefully, we can bring you back on next month or the month after.
Yes, sir. It was a pleasure being here. I've been a big fan of yours for a long time, and so keep it up. And congrats on all the syndication. Sounds like you're going everywhere. So some big things coming for the breakdown, definitely. But thank you for having me up.
Gotta work, man. We grinding out here, right?
Yes, sir.
Besides investing, we're grinding. I appreciate you. Have a great one. Have a great 13th.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 666 episode. Good luck.
There we go.
All right. Thank you, sir.
That was Michael Freeman. You can go ahead and check out his show. He went ahead and broke that down for you. Good guy, man. What can I say, man? Good people. Good people, man. Good people. Check them out. People are like, oh, why do you always bring on other people and their shows and you're promoting? What are you talking about? I'm having conversations. I'm glad. I'm glad there's more people out here that are grabbing a microphone and putting on their camera and putting themselves out there and having a conversation about one of the greatest industries in the world. And we're early here, right? We're still early here. No matter where you listen, 13 plus years in the game, I'm still early. I'm early with you guys. We're chilling. I'm seeing things I've never seen before. Seriously, I've seen things I've never seen before. You learn something new every single fucking day. Seriously, you learn something new every single day. Hopefully, we'll have Michael back on the show. Let's say next month or the month after. Welcome to the breakdown, though. Episode 666. Yep, he mentioned syndication. It's coming. It's coming. It's 100% coming. When? Y'all shall have to wait and see. Y'all shall have to wait and see. See, watch, and see. I'm bullish on crypto. I really am. I sit here I have the greatest job in the world. I got to say one thing. I have the greatest job in the world. I get to talk about crypto. I get to talk about politics. I get to talk about the greatest country in the world, the United States of America. I'm going to say that one more time. I get to talk about the greatest country in the world, and that is the United States of America. That's right. I should have all you motherfuckers stand up and pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God. Okay, I should have you stand up and pledge allegiance. Even if you don't live in America, I should have you stand up and pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Canadians have asked me to run for Prime Minister of Canada. That's because they heard me sing the national anthem. They know I can change things. They know I can change things. Anyway, shout out to Cake Wallet. Cake Wallet. Vic and that team. Cake Wallet cooking. Absolutely cooking. Check out that wallet, cakewallet.com. Go check that out. Polymarket. I got to go ahead and look at some interesting topics that have been put up on Polymarket to go ahead and look at and bet on. By the way, I don't encourage anybody to bet, but there's a few things that I'm looking into. Throwing a few shekels in, seeing if I come out. That is, prediction markets, new asset class. It is a new asset class. It is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. I think a lot of you guys would do much better in prediction markets than you would actually trading crypto. I was actually thinking about that. W for shekels. Uh-oh. They're going to say David works for Israel. I said shekels. They're going to say that David works for Israel, even though the Jewish Council has officially taken away my Jew card. That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, my Jew card was officially taken away. So I am out here in these streets backed by nobody. That's right. Somebody said APAC pays all, but fuck, I haven't seen a paycheck from APAC. I haven't seen shit. I haven't even got a phone call. That's how bad it is. You got non-Jews getting paid by APAC. What the fuck did I do wrong? I'm at least keeping it real. What the fuck did I do wrong? Where's my check? I don't care. Actually, nah. I do care. I walk to my own beat. I don't care who it is. I walk to my own beat. I say what I want to say. I ain't gonna let anybody go ahead and tell me what I need to or have to say on air. That's why they kicked me out of the Jewish Council. That's right. That's why they kicked me out. Kicked me out of the Jewish Council. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Friday. It is Friday. It's the end of the week. It's the end of the, for some of you guys in crypto, it's the end of the suffering. Okay? It's the end of your suffering. Holy shit, we got 30,000 likes on TikTok. People are working. Thumbs to screen out here. Supporting your boy. I'm out here. Yeah, I swear to God, if it was team TikTok versus team Twitter, you get your ass whipped by team TikTok. Team TikTok don't fuck around. The generals, Fran and Tech, they don't fuck around. They got everybody. They'll smack everybody up into shape real quick. They got motherfuckers doing jumping jacks inside of this. Look at this. They got people doing jumping jacks inside of this goddamn live stream. Give them another clap and round of applause. Gotta give a shout out to Tech. Tech's been here since day one I started streaming. Tech has no clue what he got himself into. I remember the first days Tech was moderating TikTok for me. He looked like he wanted to quit, and I can't even see his face. I felt like he wanted to quit. He's like, what did I get my shit in? What did I get myself into? This guy's crazy. This guy, the moderators must have sat back and because they had emergency meetings on TikTok. I'll have them do that again. Watch me. Listen. Let me get all this situated. I got a few more things to handle, and then I'm gonna start live streaming on TikTok again and watch. I'm gonna have everybody's panties. Okay, I'm gonna have them all wedged up. They'll be you're gonna have Bella Star. We're calling emergency meetings out here. He's back again. Yo, poor Tech. Poor Tech, bro. I gotta say, poor Tech. This man was being assaulted. This man was being assaulted. He didn't know which side to choose. He's like, I don't know what to do here, man. But he stood his ground. He said, I don't know what he thought of me at first, but I think after a while he said, this motherfucker got a point. He might be crazy at times, but he got a point. I like it. He talks his shit. I like that. Fran won me over. When, hey, put your mic on. Put your mic. Make sure your mic's on. Put your mic on. Like, shit, it's like staff, and she got like the whole headset and shit. Anyway, I love the TikTok crowd. I gotta say, I really do. I love the TikTok crowd. I promise you, I haven't promoted TikTok. I really haven't. I haven't done a really good job promoting the TikTok. Though I gotta say, I have almost 500,000 people following me on TikTok. TikTok is a little bit confused because on TikTok I talk about politics, and here I am talking about crypto, so the crowd's kind of confused. And the crowd might hate crypto because Trump is pro-crypto, so the crowd hates some of the people that hate Trump. They hate crypto, so now they don't want it to. It's a very confusing time. It's a very, very confusing time. But I will start promoting TikTok more. Okay, just in the same facet that I will be promoting Facebook and Instagram. And then we have a lot of other shit coming, a lot of cool shit coming. And then I'm going to tell everybody, I'm going to have the whole world knowing that I am 100% hella smart. I know crypto, I know finance, and I know politics. I am probably the most handsome man when it comes to media. That shows up every single day, 100%. The whole world will know. I said it. What were the odds? What was the odds of me saying that on Polymarket? What were the odds of me saying that on Polymarket for a third straight show? What are the odds? It's 1:17 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Welcome to the breakdown. I haven't looked at the markets, but I shall. Let's look. What's happening with the fucking markets right now? What is happening? Go to CoinMarketCap. Go to CoinMarketCap. Oh shit, Bitcoin. There we go. Bitcoin's at 69,000. We got Ethereum over 2. All right. As Denzel Washington would say. All right in training day. We got BNB at 614. We got Solana at $84.52. We got Tron. Tron doesn't fucking move. It's either 27 or 28 cents. That's it. It doesn't do anything else. Dogecoin and 9 cents looking to hit 10. And we got in the 10th position, we got Bitcoin Cash. Very surprising. It's at $551. Cardano, number 11 at 27. A lot of, listen, I got to tell you, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that are really oversold. And they're just waiting for somebody to pick them up and show them a new home. I'm doing that. I am 100% doing that. Fran's telling me I've done a phenomenal job on muting myself after commercial breaks. That's right. Extremely happy about that. My game, taking my game to the next level, taking my game to the major leagues. What are we looking at? I gave a major shout out to Senator Fetterman for being a real Democrat and reminding me of what Democrats used to be like, where he came out in support of funding the Department of Homeland Security because it's necessary to have them funded. By the way, ICE is funded until the end of the year. So for anybody who thought that ICE would be affected, they're not. But we shouldn't have this. We shouldn't have this stalemate. We shouldn't. This is bad. Like, you know who it hurts? The American people. That's who it hurts. That's who it really hurts. By the way, Republicans need to wake up. The Republican Party needs to wake up and realize you're going to lose the midterms if you do not stop, or do not start, I should say, getting out there and really addressing issues that people have. There are people out there that don't care about the 3 things that you continue to talk about. And to President Trump, and obviously I voted for President Trump, I say this to you, President Trump, I know the economy is getting better. And I know it's going to be great. I know it's going to be great under you. I know you have a phenomenal team, but you must hear out the people. You must not just brush that away, because there are so many people out here in the United States of America that are still living paycheck to paycheck. It's hard for them. You need to just tell them, listen, I am working for you guys. I am going to make sure that you're at some point, you're not going to need to work 3 jobs. That you will be able to afford things with just 1 job. That we're going to make, and I know this is happening, that the price on goods and inflation, obviously we've seen inflation has gone down. Like all these things, we need to take a better approach. We do. Like I'm being serious. We need to take a much better approach at addressing these problems. You can't just hoot and holler. Even Republicans, there are Republican voters that are suffering. You can't brush it to the side. Listen, I'm fair. Unlike these liberals and Democrats, I'm fair with my assessments, man. I look at this, I can say that we have a phenomenal economy. Our economy is doing great. I really do think that it's healthier now than it was under Biden. I think anybody with a fucking IQ over room temperature would agree with me on that one. Stock market is doing great. Crypto will do great. I have no doubt about that. Prices are coming down. Now the new report came out with everything that happened yesterday with them getting rid of the stop and start buttons that were pushed by the Obama administration to be put into vehicles, which will save the average cost on a vehicle, or it will lower the prices on vehicles by $2,000 to $2,500. That's great. That's a win. That's a win. But like, we need to also address other problems. We do. We need to work to address problems that are out there and not dismiss them. Because if you dismiss real issues, especially issues that your core base has and independents have, then you will lose the midterms. This is not where you get cocky. This is what always happens with the Republican Party. Work so hard to win, which is what happened a year ago, to win, and then you sit back and you're just complacent for 4 years. It's been the same story forever. It's just we're going to be we're guaranteed to win. You're not guaranteed to win anything. You're not guaranteed to win anything. We need to there is no, like, if you look at this honestly, if you were to look at this, no party affiliation involved. If you looked at Trump without your hate trip, because mainstream media liberals brainwash, your professors brainwashed you to hate Trump. If you look at this, everything that he's done and his and the entire administration has done, you would say, hell of a job. In a year's time, it's one hell of a job. Absolute. Could it be better? Yes. But if we were to judge, I think we can all say that a great job was done here. Much better than Biden. But the president can't do everything. The Senate and the House of Representatives need to do better. I don't care about what, honestly, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't care about these debates. When you guys clip up, or when I even have to clip them up and put them out as news, I don't really care for these debates. I want to see shit done. That's it. The American people, honestly, we don't give a fuck about you arguing. Like most people, the 10% love Jerry Springer. The 10% love a good Jerry Springer. But the rest of us want shit done. We want our roads fixed. We want infrastructure fixed here. America's falling apart, but our bridges are outdated. Okay? Roads are ass out here. Tires blowing up all over the place. We need to fix things here. We need to fix shit. Really do. We need to get 42 million people off of fucking SNAP benefits. I'll tell you that. I have no idea how the richest country in the world can have 42 million people on SNAP benefits. Well, I kind of know, and that's the Democrat strategy of having people depend on the government. New York and California, check out what's happening in California. You have with the millionaire's tax, you have every single billionaire and millionaire leaving California. California is going to go broke. California now is going to have its GDP move over to Texas and other states, Florida, Texas, away from all this crazy shit that the Democrats are putting out there. If you think people are not going to move out, if you try this shit in New York's going to go broke. Mandani's trying to go ahead and put in some fucking 2% tax now. Like New York isn't. And for what? You guys couldn't even clean up snow or garbage. What a fucking disgrace. When people think of the United States of America, most likely the first thing they think of is New York. And you imagine seeing This shit that's out in New York, the snow not clean, garbage all over the fucking place. What is this? I hope New York City residents are learning their lesson. You got a good 4 years to learn your lesson about free. You voted for free. And you know what you got? You're getting everything that's free. Nobody does anything for free. Nobody. Now, I got to look at this announcement also from the EPA, okay? Because somebody said, and I don't know if this is true, it could be conspiracy. I didn't get to look at it because I was busy, okay? I'm going to be honest, Joe, I was very busy. But besides taking out the start-stop feature in vehicles, which I find it to be annoying, but I also find it to be where you can turn it off. Certain vehicles allow you to turn it off, but it starts back up when you go back into the vehicle. So I get that. It's annoying. Nobody wants the goddamn feature. Okay? Okay, cool. But also, it was stated that they're taking it out and replacing it with a kill switch. This can be tinfoil hat shit, by the way. I don't know. I read this on the internet, so you can't believe shit on the internet. But if that is the case, if they're putting a kill switch into a car, what the fuck? Leave the start and stop button in that motherfucker then. I don't know if it's true or not, but that's what, apparently that's what I read on the internet. Yeah, like I said in the beginning of that, I don't know if it's true or not. Don't believe shit that you read on the internet. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. Anyway, welcome to the breakdown, episode 666. Next week is institutional week here on the breakdown. It is, and again, I think besides Midnight and besides Cake Wallet and Polymarket sponsoring the DG brand, maybe I have to call BlackRock and Fidelity and Van Eyck, a bunch of people, to go ahead and have a conversation about sponsoring the show. I'm telling you, next week is, you'll see so many people. I looked at it. I didn't realize how many people were booked out. Shout out to the staff. I didn't realize how many people were booked out for institutional, what I'll call next week as Institution Week. I looked at the names. I was like, holy shit, this is going to be fire. And maybe it'll be the last time they come on the show, too. Maybe it'll be the last time they come on the show, because you know how I feel about institutions. Even though I have friends over on that side. You know how I feel. Anyway, it is 1:31 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be right back, and we have a guest coming on. We'll be right back right after this commercial break.
What first got you excited about blockchains? Think about it. Oh, wait. I bet it wasn't multi-million-dollar hacks, exposed data, or finding somewhere safe to store your seed phrase. Was it? Maybe it was the idea of decentralizing a broken financial system. Maybe it was imagining a world where people own their own data and get to sharing the value it creates. Or maybe it was the promise of a fundamentally better way of connecting, communicating, and transacting. The next phase of the internet that empowers us instead of exploiting us. So why hasn't that happened yet? Why are we still living with the same broken system that blockchains promise to fix? It's because blockchains can't keep a secret. Enabling open, transparent systems was only the first half of the challenge. For blockchains to really change the world, they also have to be able to protect our sensitive data when it matters. And that's why we built Midnight, to bring down the final barrier to mass adoption and unlock the full potential of the decentralized web. Let's build the internet we deserve together.
Made sure to unmute myself. Welcome back to episode 666. We have Philip. We have Philip joining us. I'll tell you. I'll talk more about this. I've been waiting for this. Philip, what's going on? How's everything going, man?
Hey, how's it going, man? Thanks for
Can't
having me on.
complain. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. Tell us more about yourself. Go ahead. Tell us more about where you're coming from today.
Yeah, definitely. I've been in the Web3 space for pretty much the past 5 years, working primarily as a growth lead. I started my career joining a founding team, building on Solana, working on cross-chain infrastructure during, Solana's DeFi season and summer. After that experience, I went on to join Trader Joe, the leading DEX on Avalanche, to help with their go-to-market strategies for the multi-chain expansion efforts of the DEX. And now I've been a part of the Say Foundation for the past 3 years, as one of the founding team members, joining during our testnet days and, seeing the evolution of the ecosystem and supporting all of our ecosystem projects.
Where is Say right now?
Yeah, like in terms of,
In terms of development.
there's
The ecosystem
Yeah.
and its development.
Yeah, definitely. So in terms of the development, there's a lot of exciting stuff coming from Say Labs, mainly around Say Giga, which is the upgrade that they've been working on for essentially the past year, really trying to push the design space of what's possible on the EVM.
What's okay? So like, I remember when you guys came out, and I don't know if you see them as a competitor. I don't think you should see them as a competitor because I think it's healthy competition in the space, if anything. So I remember your network and I remember Sui coming out. Those are the two, and I got into both. If you can pick one thing from your network that people are sleeping on, what would that be?
Yeah, well, currently there's a few projects building in stealth that I think obviously are what has most people kind of excited. In terms of comparing Say to Sui, the key differentiator was the EVM compatibility. So Say was the first protocol to launch parallelized EVM. And what that ended up doing was essentially, unlocking a lot of the network effects that the EVM kind of developer ecosystem has, while bringing the throughput and scalability of high throughput chains like Solana and Sui.
What do you think about what Vitalik has said about L2s and L1s and how he wants to essentially go away from it because it's kind of hurting Ethereum? What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely very interesting, and it brings up a broader conversation around value accrual. I think that was always quite prevalent with L2s, especially like Base, and some others that have really picked up a lot of traction. So that has always been kind of the case. It's good to see him start to address some of those things because I know those were a lot of the questions that he's been getting for various years. I'm not sure if I'm frozen, by the way, but I'm seeing
You're
myself.
frozen. It's okay. We keep going. It's live.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. And I mean, yeah, it's interesting to see him address those, concerns and kind of discussions around value accrual. That was always top of mind for Say, and why we chose to build Say as a layer 1 and not a layer 2.
We are here joined by Philip from Say, the Say Network, on the breakdown episode 666. If you want, just try to restart your camera because, like, when you replay this, you're gonna be like, "My God, this dude had me stuck with my face." It looks like somebody hit you from the back, but like he'll come right back on. I just want to be fair. But Say was one of those networks. Say was one of those networks that I don't want to compare anybody. I really don't. But I just remember it was Say and Sui, right? Say and Sui. And it's important to ask the questions of, let me bring him back on. And that's fine if you can't bring yourself back on, that's fine. We can have you as oh, there you go. You're back.
Yeah, I think. Okay, yeah.
You're back.
Hopefully,
I can see
yeah.
you. We see you. The audience sees you, and a lot of people. I will leave his at in the thread on Twitter. So if you want to go ahead and give Philip a follow and learn more about the Say Network, you can go ahead and follow him off the thread, off the tag that we put on there. All right. What do you think happens though? What do you think will happen moving forward? Would say, not saying that you guys are going to go away with what Ethereum said, but were you getting any support from Ethereum anyway? Like that's what I really want to ask. Was Ethereum and the Ethereum Foundation supporting you guys ever since you went ahead and went live? I mean, like,
Yeah, so on the technical side of things, our Say Labs has engaged with the Ethereum Foundation on certain research reports and other kind of novel things that they've been pushing. But that's mainly just on the technical side of things. Just recently, the Ethereum Foundation has become a bit more active. A lot of new hires and whatnot. So that is exciting to see on their end. But the two foundations outside of some of the tech research that we do together don't really interact too much.
and what do you think about Thomas? I believe stepped or resigned today, and I think it happens by the end of this month. I don't know how closely you worked with him or the Say Network worked with him.
Yeah, I don't have any specific thoughts on that. We have seen kind of like a broader industry trend of, so some leadership across different protocols and different ecosystems stepping down. I think that's pretty kind of, it's one of like the common denominators that we see across different parts of the cycle, but no specific comments on Thomas.
Are you looking to integrate with anybody else or partner with anybody else moving forward? Like in terms of, I'll give you an example, prediction markets. Are you looking into prediction markets as everybody else sees it as a new asset class within the crypto industry?
Yeah, definitely. So Say's already working pretty closely with Kalshi and other established prediction markets, but there's also some novel products they'll be launching on Say that have prediction markets as well. So excited for those.
Okay. And what's the biggest thing? Like if we have a whole audience here watching, what would be the biggest reason why somebody would want to go ahead and build on the Say Network?
Yeah, I think it really boils down to distribution at the end of the day. So that's where a lot of our focus is now on, as the tech stacks get extracted from the front ends and, more and more people will not even know that they're using crypto or not even know which blockchain they're using. We're extremely focused on just acquiring as much distribution as possible. So with that, any ecosystem projects launching on Say and also launching tokens on Say will have baked in distribution from a lot of these efforts that we're doing via partnerships and a lot of more, kind of Web2-esque sort of deals that, maybe in the past you've seen Microsoft or other big organizations doing a similar approach.
But they're not going to be like front-facing partnerships. They'll actually be working partnerships because we have a lot of, I've been here for a very long time, and all these people come out with and I don't want to say it's just Say. I'm just saying in general, we've had a ton of networks come out with partnerships, and it's just like 6 years later, it's just been a front-facing partnership. Partnerships that you guys are aligning with are ones that will actually boost your network, or you'll boost their network.
Yeah, spot on. This will be partnerships that are very dependent on the usage that is acquired. It's not, some of these like Google Cloud partnership, logo by logo sort of things that, have dominated the industry for a while.
Everybody has an Amazon partnership. So that's
exactly, yeah. You buy some AWS credits and then you can slap their logo on.
How's your community been dealing? Obviously, markets have been a bit, let me just say it for a better word here, would be trash. I could have got filthier with that, but the markets have been relatively trash, but not for me because I see this as an opportunity to pick up some undervalued networks as yourself. How's your community been? How have they reacted?
Yeah, I mean, I would say quite resilient, but with, market cycles like this, we do see kind of fluctuations in terms of, community activity. I think a lot of our ecosystem projects have done a very good job retaining a lot of their communities. What we're seeing now across the industry is, the community almost being baked into a lot of the product features, whether it be through points or different kind of incentive systems that are very much so tied to usage again. So this is a bit of the evolution that we're seeing where, before maybe it was like the Discord servers, the NFTs, and a lot of those kind of cult-like characteristics. But as we've seen, Hyperliquid's a good example of having a community that's very much so user-centric, very focused on the product. So I think we'll continue to see the evolution go towards that, where the community is really using the products and continuing to drive the growth of the actual protocol, not just some of the vanity metrics that maybe existed in the past.
I want to hold you for two more questions. I know you're a busy guy.
Mhm. Yep.
Um, have have projects reached out to you specifically, or maybe the network, and try to go ahead and switch over um, to build with you versus where they're currently at?
Yeah, that definitely does happen, but our core focus now is, much less on these like Web3 native primitives, I would say, and more on some of these, use cases where we see the industry evolving towards. So whether it be payments, stuff like equity perps, that's where we've seen a lot of the, developer activity shift towards, and that's where we see, a lot of our exciting projects building in stealth kind of focusing on right now. So while we have seen, some Web3 native teams bouncing across ecosystems, that'll always, I think, remain to be the case. We're also seeing ones that are much more focused on some of these like Web2 user acquisition or even, kind of BD-esque sort of partnerships to drive further usage.
So you're more focused on the network is more focused on getting Web2 Fortune 500 companies into the mix and having them built on your network. Would I be correct on that?
It's less like Fortune 500 companies and more Web 2 startups essentially, or crypto enabled businesses is really the easiest way of describing it, where certain teams across different sectors in fintech primarily are realizing the use cases that they can unlock with enabling crypto and blockchain tech into their products. So that's more or less where we're seeing a lot of the activity.
Philip, I really appreciate you making time today
Yeah, of
to
course.
come and join us here. I will leave your information. We will post it out. Okay, we will post it out there so you can give Philip a follow. I hope your network does phenomenal. You know why? Because I do hold it too. So I do hope for good things, and I'm glad that you guys are kind of also focused on Web two. I think a lot of
Mhm.
projects, especially the ones that I'm in, the ones that are focused on Web two, I think they'll win. It's time to, you already have this industry. You're already here. You're well known. It's time to go ahead and fix some real use cases outside our little bubble here. So
Okay.
much respect to you and the entire team.
Yeah, thanks for having me, David. Have a good rest
Thanks
of
for
your day.
coming on. Have a great
See
one.
ya.
It
Bye-bye.
is Friday the 13th, episode 666, sponsored by Midnight, Cake Wallet, and also Polymarket. Everybody comes on. Everybody comes on to the breakdown. The breakdown. The breakdown. The breakdown. Who should I have on next? I don't know. The team, you know what it is? The team goes ahead and books people. The one thing that I can say, that I can proudly say, the one thing that I am really good at. Listen, if nobody gives you a compliment, give yourself a compliment, okay? If nobody gives you a compliment, then give yourself one. The one thing that I'm good at is that I can figure out how to have a conversation with anybody. Even the liberals with the septum piercings. I can have a conversation with any, and I can convert people. I'm quick on my feet. I'm like Muhammad Ali, float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. Landy is lucky. Landy is very lucky that I like him. Besides working together, Landy's very lucky I like him. Because if I didn't, I would tell him all he does all day is talk about men's astrology. Like, if I didn't like him, I would tell him that all he does every single day is look at. If I didn't like him, right? He's lucky I like him, right? And I don't say that he's into men's astrology and when the moon circles Mars and Venus. He's lucky. He's lucky I don't start that. Anyway, welcome to the breakdown. It is Friday the 13th, episode 666. It don't get weirder than this, ladies and gentlemen. Landy is into men's astrology, okay? Landy, yo, he gets so sensitive. I say anything about Landy, he's sensitive as fuck. He's so sensitive, bro. Like, oh my God, all the Wall Street bros contact me. Keep talking shit. Keep talking shit. When I become president, I'm deporting everybody. When I become president of the United States of America, and I'm telling you right now, you think it's a joke? You also thought Trump wouldn't get in. You thought it was a joke when Trump ran, and guess what happened? 45th president of the United States of America. I'm telling you right now, when I become president, you think Trump's bad? I'm deporting everybody's ass. Go ahead. Talk shit about me. Go ahead and talk shit about me. I'm deporting you and your family. I'm going to deport everybody. Say a word. Go ahead. I dare you. You guys are going to be... Yo, I'm telling you right now, the first protest you guys have about no kings, I'm going to show you what a king does. First protest you guys have about no kings, I'm telling you right now, you will see what happens. There will be no more protests about the king. That's what'll happen. That's what will happen. Okay? Martial law up in this bitch. I am straight up. I ain't having none of that. You better get rid. Yeah, that's right, Landy. You gotta get rid of your septum piercings. You better color your hair back. Okay. Listen, if you're a brunette and you feel like going blonde, that's fine. And I will allow it to where you can have purple hair for Halloween. But if it ain't Halloween, If it ain't Halloween, I love you guys. Relax. Don't. Oh, and right now there's somebody in their house just walking around punching air. Right now there is somebody watching, and they are punching air right now at this very, very moment. Punching air. Punching air, man. Punching air. I want America to look proper. I want America to look great. I want America to be great again. That's right. That's right. I want America to be great again. That's right. Next week again. Next week is institutional week. And we'll have all the institutional players on. I'm gonna reach out to BlackRock, Vanguard, Fidelity, VanEck, all of them to have them sponsor the show as well. It only makes sense with all the Tri-Fi bros that are gonna be out here. All the Tri-Fi bros that'll be out here, it only makes sense. It really does. It is 1:53 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You've tuned into the breakdown. It is Friday. It is time to unwind. That's right. It is time to unwind from all of Landy's magical TA. By the way, Landy, you can go ahead and catch him Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. He puts out his little charts, okay? He puts out them charts. He breaks down the macro in the markets, okay? Now he's breaking down gold and silver and copper. I mean, it's gotten so bad that now he's trying to gain viewership in the boomer markets, okay? So precious metals, if you're into precious metals, you go tune into Landy as he breaks it all down for you. Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, powered by GNN. Shout out to Landy. Men's astrology at its finest. Also tune in at 9 p.m. You can catch Hotep Jesus and Landy, I guess. They break down the markets. They're all about their money now. They are all about making money. That's probably what the name of the show should be, Making Money. So you can tune in at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and catch that as they start looking at charts and where they're going to go ahead and place, or what they're going to place positions on. You can go ahead and tune into that. You can watch that crazy ass little Bitcoin puppet do its thing. Yeah, we have ladies on the network. We got Julie on the network. Julie comes on at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We also have, oh my God, this is so bad. I just quote a Biden. I just quote a Biden. We got Taylor on the network. Oh my God, I just quote a Biden. Taylor's on the network. You can tune into Taylor. She does 2 shows a week. She breaks stuff down. You should tune into Taylor. Okay, Taylor does a phenomenal job. And who knows? Who knows what we do? There's things in the works, man. In the next 2 months, you shall see there's things in the works. There are things that I can talk about. There are things that I can't talk about. And I don't want to talk about them because evil eyes everywhere. Evil eyes everywhere. Right? But if you don't believe in evil eyes, then it doesn't really matter. But I want to present it. I want it to be an event. Anyway, it is 1:56 or 8 or I think 1:56 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let me leave you guys with a quote because we're wrapping up here. Let me just leave you guys with a quote. By the way, I want to give a shout out to the moderators on TikTok. I want to give a shout out to the people listening in on Twitter, on Rumble, on LinkedIn. Shout out to the boomers. Shout out to my former coworkers that are listening in on LinkedIn. Okay. Appreciate you guys. I told you Bitcoin was real. You guys laughed at me. Now you're still working out there, but do your thing because we need people working, right? We need people. Much respect. We need people working. I think we need people working. Yo, New York City needs to allow tints, by the way. Well, I don't know why they made tints illegal, man. That is horrible. Horrific. 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 Let me give you the quote of the day. Here's the quote of the day. I fuck with this. You know, I fuck with this. I fuck with this. I fuck with this. You know, I fuck with this. All right, here's the quote of the day. Are you ready? I had another one lined up, but I like this one. I like both of them, but I don't want to give two quotes. All right. Quote of the day. This is true about my personality. Even on empty, I outwork full tanks. What? 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 I can't even take the jacket off because I'm so diesel. I can't even take off the jacket because I'm so fucking swole. I'm so goddamn swole, I couldn't even take off the goddamn jacket. Even on empty, I outwork full tanks, motherfuckers. That's right. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the show this week. Also, I want to thank everybody who's tuned in. I know you missed me, okay? I know you missed me. You had to watch some lame-ass people come on doing live streams talking about God knows what, shampoos, conditioners, has nothing to do with crypto or politics. You're listening to this shit, you're like, you're on the verge of getting an aneurysm. I get it. I'm back. Don't worry, I'm here to save you. 2 quotes are needed to dispel the negative. Okay, fine. I'm gonna give you another quote. But that quote was fire. You gotta admit that quote was fire. All right, here's the second one. Second quote. One more quote of the day. Or 2 quotes of the day, okay? Because of the whole 666 and Friday the 13th shit. Here you go. I no longer care how the story gets told. Fuck all of them. I no longer care how the story gets told. Fuck all of them. And on that note, somebody said, bro, what's your take on Brett? Send them much higher. Listen, everything's on sale. If you ain't buying, you ain't about that life. Replay the show. I talked about starting my own little thing, okay, in terms of having like a meme wallet and an altcoin wallet, and I'm just buying the new, so like some dope ass memes and some dope ass projects. Okay, it has nothing to do with the shit that I already have. I just have 2 wallets, one for memes, the other for utilities, and see what happens with my wallet kind of thing. That's what I alluded to that earlier. But anyway, I want to give a shout out to everybody who tuned in. Again, check out the people that I run with. They're really good at doing what they do, okay? I'm not even flexing. I am really so swole, bro. I really am so swole. I messaged Dave. Yeah, Landy messaged me. He's like, hey, is everything okay? I'm like, yeah, I watched one of your fucking videos where you were charting about like when a Sagittarius meets a Gemini or some shit, and I fell asleep. And I woke up 48 hours later, and then I figured that I needed to do a show. Anyway. That's right, Landy. Oh, fuck. I love you, Landy. It's all jokes. Me and Landy are like brothers. It's all jokes. It's all jokes. Anyway, I wish everybody the best of luck. It's hard times in crypto, so I'm going to specifically speak to people in crypto. I know it looks tough. It looks like we're never going to come back. People are talking about pivoting to AI. People are switching up. KOLs are going to AI. They're no longer talking about crypto. This shit is all over the fucking place. But let me tell you something. At the end of the day, crypto ain't going nowhere. Bitcoin's going higher. All coins are finally going to get out of their bear market, and they're going to go much higher. Meme coins are going to make a comeback. The real ones, not the fucking zombie tickers. And you are going to Valhalla as long as you front run the markets. And the bottom line is, and I was about to say, and that's the bottom line because DG said so, but I said it already. So yeah, that's the bottom line because I said so, and that's going to happen. And you better tune in, and you better tell your grandparents and your friends and family that they need to tune in Mondays through Fridays at 2 p.m. from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tune in, watch the guests that DG brings on, listen to what DG has to say about politics and crypto and finance and money, okay? And maybe, and just maybe, you can go ahead and stop driving that broken down Honda Civic with 2 different door colors, okay, with a fucked up muffler. Maybe, just maybe, you'll move out of your grandma's house and you'll be moving on up to a 1-bedroom apartment. Maybe, just maybe, I'll change your motherfucking life. Tune in, The Breakdown, every day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sponsored by Midnight, also sponsored by Cake Wallet, and also Polymarket, the official sponsor when it comes to prediction markets. And on that note, stay tuned. We got more shit cooking. Shout out to Killer Whales. I'm a Killer Whale judge now. You better not come my way. You better not come my way with some bullshit of a project because I will rip it. You better come correct. You better come correct with your project. You better have all your X's and O's. Because I will cook you. I will cook you. On that note, I'm out.